Welcome back, Wood Brothers.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back to your old hometown, Boulder, Colorado.
Thank
you very much.
Yeah, man. And now you're both living in Nashville, so you have a new hometown in a way. That's kind of going through all kinds of changes, and everybody seems to be moving to Nashville in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah, they're just following us.
Yeah. Oh, you were the guys.
You were the guys.
No, we're just a statistic, you know.
Yeah, we're just
that town is growing faster than, I don't know, Shanghai.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well, it's funny thinking about, Chris used to live in New York City, and so just trying to imagine a guy lugging an acoustic bass around New York City to every gig, and then, but being, busy and active, and then also now being in Nashville. It's probably a very different circumstance. You can actually drive around and bring your bass with you, but there's probably as much activity for you.
There's
there.
a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. And the parking is much easier and cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a real issue in New York City. When
Right.
you go do a session, you got to park, and that's kind of half your pay right there.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. And Oliver, moving from Atlanta, what's different between the Atlanta music scene and the Nashville music scene for you?
Well, honestly, just as a city, Nashville is just a tiny little town compared to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And
Not for long.
not for long, but there's a lot of cranes now. But honestly, I think what's really cool about it is there's an amazing music community, and you just don't feel like a freak being a musician.
Right.
Everybody gets it. You go to a coffee shop, everybody's in the music business. They're talking about it, which
Right.
at first was kind of a turnoff, but now it's kind of like, yeah, we got this. We're
You don't have to
we're
explain
real.
yourself.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know what your real job is when you live in another city. But in Nashville, you're accepted as a normal person with a family and a mortgage, and you're legit.
And I remember the first time I went to Nashville and heard people in a coffee shop talking about sessions and songwriting. It was like, wow, this is cool. Do you made your record in Nashville too, right?
We did. We made it at Easy Eye Studios, which is, Nashville has sort of a stigma for country, but there's all kinds of stuff there. And this studio is owned by Dan Auerbach of the Black Keys, which, there's all kinds of garage rock and pop music and all different stuff there too. So.
Right. And you brought in some special guests. A few.
We did. Actually,
Yeah.
the song that we started with there, Never and Always, featured Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi, and so that was a treat. I've known Derek since he was like 12 years old and like this big, and so we've always kept in touch, and we've done a lot of shows together. So just to collaborate in the studio is really exciting.
What an amazing player, and Susan's such a great singer.
Oh, they're great.
So you guys are playing bigger and bigger rooms, I've noticed, as I look at your tour dates. I mean, first of all, you're working a lot, this is the tail end of a pretty long run. But you're playing bigger and bigger shows. 2 nights at the famous Fillmore in San Francisco. I mean, that's a big deal, right?
Feels like it.
For us, yeah.
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 Yeah. So do you have to, I know you did some shows where you were opening up for Zach Brown. You're out on the road with Zach Brown Band, and so you're playing to these big, huge crowds. Was that good practice for how to sort of change your set list or change your approach to connect with a big audience that isn't really even, familiar with your stuff?
I think
Absolutely.
Yeah, in a way, because even though that was not our audience, it was really good practice to realize that when you get into a bigger space, that maybe some subtleties that you're used to featuring are not going to work, and you need to try maybe to be a little more straight ahead. And
Yeah, every gesture has to be a large one,
Yeah.
There's no subtlety in a stadium.
Right.
yeah, but we are not playing stadiums
No.
quite yet, so we're
No,
I think
but
we're
you know,
safe.
Nor do we really wish to.
No,
I mean,
heck
that's
no.
not our goal in the slightest, because what we do here and what you just heard, we like doing that,
Yeah.
and that's never going to go over in a stadium.
Yeah,
Right.
a stadium's like a giant
Theaters
sports
are fine.
bar.
Yeah, we're good with that.
A stadium is like a giant sports bar.
It's a giant sports
yeah.
bar. There's like big TV thing, and, and people are applauding, but it's not for
Exactly.
you. It's for the TV. A lot of
When you're playing like a couple thousand people and it's a big gig at like a place like the Fillmore, do you have to sort of feel like you're responsible for bringing the party to the show a little bit? Like do you change your set to like, come on everybody, let's have fun and drink and let's
You know what's interesting about this job of making music, as you probably know and have known for a long time, is that the music you make is affected by the environment that you're in. So those decisions are not always conscious. And when you start playing and your band starts playing bigger and bigger rooms, you can't help but in the songwriting process think about what's that going to go, how's that going to go over in this room or that room, and so unconsciously that becomes part of the process, and so it happens organically.
Well, you also have a secret weapon, which is you have the sitar.
We do.
Yes, we do. And John O'Ricks.
And
John O'Ricks is the secret weapon because we have the sitar.
He is.
Which allows us to play unplugged, like you just heard, but we still get to have a beat, a drum beat, without having a quote-unquote ethnic percussion instrument. This is an American invention, the sitar. So,
It has a UI in it, just so everybody knows.
It's spelled like guitar with an SH.
Yeah.
So it's perfectly legitimate.
Yeah.
And there's a website, too. You can go to sitar.com, and you can buy your own sitar.
It's really good to make sure that the emphasis is on the second syllable.
You got
let's make
the
sure
emphasis on the syllable is very important.
Yeah. Hey, Jono, are you lurking? Can you chime in here for a minute?
Lurk on in.
Lurk on in here for a second, Jono. So any additions to the sitar that's like any new bells or whistles that you've added to it lately?
Yeah, there's always more duct tape on it. Sometimes because the old duct tape falls off. It's too hot, like in the summer festival. Sometimes it just falls off.
Just leaves a sort of a sticky pad.
Yeah, but what do I got? What's new? It's earned its name.
Yeah. Are you going to be like Willie Nelson and just like let it just like work a big hole through the top and just leave it there?
You should put it in that yourself.
We
were talking about that today. A screwdriver, a drill.
Yeah, just make it look like We're going to copy Willie's guitar.
Yeah. It's getting there.
Yeah.
He's going to be proud one of these days.
It's really cool in that setting that we just heard you guys, that sort of acoustic gather around the one mic. It's just incredible. And we're going to get to hear you play a kit later on.
But Jono plays drums. He plays an incredible keyboard player, piano player, and
salsa
sing.
dancer. He can dance
salsa dancer.
For real.
Gives us lessons at the rest stops on the highway.
Yeah. Well, that can really go over big in a stadium, that salsa dancing thing.
Yeah, you got to have the moves.
You got to get a crowd going. That'll really do it.
He throws chicken wings out there. That's the cool thing.
In case you've just tuned in, you're listening to eTown. We're here with the Wood Brothers. So it's funny because you are in a way in this community of other bands that are kind of string band, almost bluegrassy party jam band thing, and I don't know how to describe it all any worse than that. But does that feel like a natural family and community for you to be a part of, or are there certain other artists you wish you were more associated with, or?
Oliver?
Well,
yeah. I'm too jaded. You answer that.
Well, we always wanted to be associated with like Basquiat and some
or
of the
John
painters.
Prine.
Or John Prine. No, you know what? I think every scene started now to overlap, and what we get real tired of the word Americana, but it's such a broad so. I don't know. All those bands that are successful in that scene are great, and it kind of morphs over into singer-songwriter world, and it morphs over into jam band world. It morphs into jazz world and gospel and blues. So.
Yeah, and rock and roll and blues.
Yeah, it's just the boundaries are not interesting.
Right. Yeah. So you find yourselves at places like Bonnaroo or with these wild big huge festivals.
And then little folk festivals as well.
Yeah, we love the variety. It's just cool not to, and we love just the variety of our demographic. It seems like we have a lot of people on dates, but we also have like parents and kids. So like people will come up and say, "Hey, my kids turn you on to us," and vice versa. Or the parents turn the kids on. So
well, we've got a couple here tonight who's celebrating their 49th wedding anniversary. So there's some young folks.
Man, the youngsters.
And we have a lot of couples come up to us and say we're the only music that they can both agree on.
Oh wow!
So that's what we've decided. We've realized, and partly in hindsight, but our music's all about bringing people together, connecting people. And actually, in all seriousness, that is kind of the overarching motivation behind it all.
Are there any old habits from when you guys were little that you kind of discover that you're on the road and it's like, hey, man, you just used my toothbrush like you used to when I was 6, or, any things like that from childhood that you catch yourselves at, the sort of the brother habit thing that reveals itself?
Well, we kind of toned down the wedgie noogie phase. But
That's a good thing about starting a brother band in your 30s and 40s. You kind of get over a lot of that childish stuff because we're really mature now. And
cut it out.
Stop that.
Don't.
The hair. Anyways.
Just checking. Yeah.
All right. Nothing changes really.
All right. Well, I like the fact that you're making it up and you're busy, and you're probably, Chris. Are you? And Medeski Martin Wood is still working, right?
Yeah. Overall, although this was the first year that we actually took a year off, something we've talked about for many years. But next year is our 25th anniversary.
Wow.
So we're going to be, cooking up something for that.
Yeah. All right. Well, hang on. Take care of your health. Don't forget to drink a lot of water out there. And yeah. Anyway, we're glad you're here. Glad you're back. Let's get back to music. Welcome back, the Wood Brothers. Hi, this is Nick Forster from eTown. If you want to stay up to date with all the performances, interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage, click the subscribe button. Thanks.